This is your number one baby daddy, MrNoGood at MrNoGood.com. Back again for y'all. This is like a premiere. This isn't a live show. This show is going to be premiered at a certain time. I'm going to put it up maybe around 9:30 tonight as of the date of this video. I figured out how to use my software, video software, without having to actually go through YouTube's platform. So what I'm going to do, mainly, a lot of times, I'm just going to go ahead and do this, record it in the comfort of my own home without having to worry about being on live. I can always hit the pause button. Then I can talk my talk. I don't have to worry about being distracted. You know how I lose my place because I get distracted answering the chat room, stuff in the chat room, everything like that. So I will be here for the premiere. When it premieres, I'll be in the chat room, so you can chat and I'll chat back. But this is what I'm trying to do in the future. Forget all that. So anyway, the topic of this subject is about Ice Cube. Partly about Ice Cube. However, if you're going to be mad at Ice Cube for wanting to sit down with somebody for sitting down with somebody to trying to get the platinum plan, if you're mad at Ice Cube, who is just a rapper, if you're mad at Ice Cube, who was one of the people who helped bring gangster rap into our black community, if you're mad at him, the same dude who uses the B word and the N word and everything, and as long as the beat is good, y'all nodding your head. You can call you bitches and hoes and niggas and this and that and that and this and y'all. Long as that beat is hot, you mad at him. For what? He's just a rapper. He's not a black community organizer. He's just a nigga that rapped. And out of all the other stuff, this is the same dude that's employed many people. He came up with the big three to try to employ some retired basketball players. And that was working out until this corona came and it shut it down. But that was starting to pop. He's employing people. Now, I ain't mad at him for introducing gangster rap. He was a kid. He didn't know what the fuck he was doing. It was a lot of the people in power behind it. He was a pawn. He didn't come on there saying at a young age, I'm going to come and introduce this bullshit into our community. He didn't think it was bullshit. He was young. We didn't think it was bullshit because we was young. We liked the beat. So there's no reason to be mad at him now for trying to sit down and get some money for us. What is wrong with trying to get us some money? What's wrong with that? Y'all crazy. If he could talk to Trump, and if he was what I would have liked, is if he's trying to do some reparations. Anybody who's able to talk to anybody in power about reparations gets my vote. Y'all niggas not gonna take your reparations, because if Donald Trump decided to give us reparations, which I know he ain't, but if he decided to give us reparations and gave us each like $500,000, you not gonna take it because Trump gave it to you? I've said this before when it comes to free food. If it's free food and free drinks, I will go to a Klan rally if they're going to give me free crab legs and steak, free food and drink. Would you like some drawn butter with that lobster, nigger? Yes, I would. And if you're going to be mad at him, well, first if you're going to be mad at Ice Cube, you know who else you got to be mad at? Malcolm X. Gonna have to be mad at Malcolm X too. Because he sat down with some white folks. He sat down with the KKK to try to get something for us. Yeah, he did. We will get into that. Got to be mad at Martin Luther King for sitting up there with the President Lyndon B. Johnson, who signed the Civil Rights Act. If you did not know, Lyndon B. Johnson hated black folks and was an open racist. Yes, he was. But here you see Martin Luther King sitting with him in the Oval Office. I don't know if this is the Oval Office, but I know this is the White House. Discussing stuff of trying to get black folks some stuff, some resources and whatever for the community. Here he go. So you're gonna be mad, and then what you gonna say? Oh no, Ice Cube ain't got nothing to do with that. You can't compare Ice Cube to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Ice Cube is just an entertainer. If that's the truth, then get off of Ice Cube's sack and let the entertainer entertain. If he happens to get us some money, what's it got to do with you? All it's gonna do is benefit you if he gets us some money. I don't care where the money come from, as long as it's money. What's wrong with you nignogs? My damn nerves can't please a nignog for nothing. This dude gonna hand you over here, gonna hand you $1,000. Say you homeless and you need to get you a place, deposit. Say it's, I don't know, $1,000 a month. And somebody over here is handing you $3,000. Somebody over here, but he's gonna call you a nigger when he hands it to you. Here's somebody else over here, some hippie looking dude or white liberal Karen, who's not going to give you a thing but a word of good cheer. She will give you a good luck and refer you to somebody, to some shelter, homeless shelter, but she's going to do it with a smile, and she really cares about you. And she's really rooting for you to make it and get off the street. And will love you and embrace you and everything like that. But this one over here says, take this $3,000, nigger, and get the hell out of my face and go find you a place to stay. What are you going to take? I'm going to take the money. I don't get what the problem is. So we're going to go on this a little deeper. Now, I know that's making too much noise eating that Jolly Rancher. So let me spit it out. But it's so good. It's sour cherry. Anyway, this is Ice Cube. Clarified role in helping Trump administration develop the Platinum Plan. You know, I already knew somebody black talking about the Platinum Plan, or somebody who think they black talking about the Platinum Plan. Why would you name it the Platinum Plan? I mentioned that when I first heard about it. The Platinum Plan? Leaders gonna lead, haters gonna hate. Thanks for leading. Trump senior advisor Katrina Pearson tweeted at Ice Cube yesterday. Ice Cube has been criticized on social media from going from NWA to MAGA. So it's fine if you a nigga with attitude. They like that. As long as you stay in your lane and be a nigga with attitude. That don't mean nothing. That ain't doing nothing for anybody but enriching themselves talking about being a nigga with attitude. Which ain't nothing wrong with that, because I'm a nigga with attitude. I'm an uppity nigga with attitude. That's why white folks don't like me. Even if they agree with me, I'm just too uppity for them. They don't want the deliverance that I'm giving them. According to the rapper's rep, Ice Cube offered to meet with both the Trump and Biden campaigns in recent weeks to discuss an agenda for Black Americans and support his contract with Black America, which strikes at the heart of racism. So yeah, they're talking about the contract of Black America. He posted a video on August 22nd where he asked both parties, what's in it for us? What's in it for the black community beside the same old thing we've been getting from these parties? I didn't hear anybody mention a contract with Black America, and I don't know why. Because it's one of the most comprehensive reform documents that have come out a long time that can really address a problem. After being contacted by both parties, the Democrats said they'd touch base on the CWBA after Election Day, while the president's administration reached Ice Cube and absorbed some of the CWBA into the White House's Platinum Plan, with Pearson then thanking the rapper for his assistance. Now, his Platinum Plan promises to increase access to capital in black communities by almost $500 billion by creating 500 black-owned businesses and 3 million new jobs. Like I said before, who knows? But there's some money in it. He explained further in a follow-up tweet. Ice Cube explained, facts, I put out the CWBA. Both parties contacted me. Dems said we will address the CWBA after the election. Trump campaign made some adjustments to their plan after talking to us about the CWBA. And then they trying to clown him for it. Talking about he went over to the dark side. He was just asking, what are you going to do for us? The Democrats who are running, trying to get us to vote for him, are saying, we'll get back to you after the election. And you know they're not going to get back to Ice Cube because they just think of him as a nigger with attitude. Trump, in his blatant attempt to try to snatch every black vote that he can possibly get, because he knows he's in trouble, does reach out to Ice Cube. Now again, are you gonna take the money from, you're homeless? You're gonna take the $3,000 from the man who's gonna call you a nigger? Or the word of encouragement from the white woman Karen? And you're homeless tonight. Who you gonna go to, man? When it comes down to it, it don't matter who's giving it to you. They don't gotta like you to give you something. Take what you can get and all you can get, and always try to get more. All that they done put our people through, until the day I get my reparations, I'm gonna have my hand out just like this. I'm gonna have my hand out, and you put whatever, as much bounty and wealth and whatever you can into my hands. I will take it. I want loans that I ain't gotta pay back. I want stimulus packages. I want free everything. That's what I want for me. And maybe that's selfish, but I don't care. I want it for me. That means I want it for you, nignogs. I'm trying to help you. By the way, I just got my mail-in ballot. We're going to go over this ballot in another video. And we're going to talk about the importance of you niggas voting. And it ain't just have anything to do with just the presidency, as we will go over on this ballot. Now, we got to talk about, if you're going to be mad, we got to talk about somebody else that you need to be mad at. And plenty people was mad at him back in his day. He did not have the whole black community behind him. Martin Luther King did not have the whole black community behind him. Everybody just likes to look lovingly on somebody once they're dead. When they was alive, niggas was hating on both Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Niggas were. Malcolm X's biggest hater, most influential hater, was Minister Louis Farrakhan. That was his biggest hater at the time. Somebody say I'm lying. Somebody say his biggest haters weren't the Nation of Islam. And I forget the name. I forget the name of the man who was Martin Luther King's biggest hater. I forget the name of him. In fact, that's why I have pause. Maybe I should pause this. No, I can't. But Martin Luther King had a big time hater. This nigga hated Martin Luther King and did everything to go against him. And y'all niggas hated the Ku Klux Klan. Y'all niggas still today hate the Ku Klux Klan. Who did you hate more, the Ku Klux Klan or Donald Trump? Either way, a lot of you niggas hate both of them. But the way I'm telling you is, y'all hated the Ku Klux Klan too. So now look what we about to do. Malcolm X secretly met the Ku Klux Klan in 1961 to discuss setting up a separate state for Black Americans, a new book reveals. The civil rights leader met the racist Klansmen at a secret summit in Atlanta where they discussed their shared opposition to racial integration. But it said that he discussed an unlikely pact with the Ku Klux Klan in 1961 in which the white supremacist hate group would help carve out a separate state for Black Americans. The Klan even suggested an alliance with the Nation of Islam to assassinate Martin Luther King Jr., who was leading the drive for school desegregation. But he wasn't down for that. So if I don't get to it later on in the article, just letting you know, he was trying to do that, but it said later in the article that Malcolm said, nah, we ain't about to do all that. Little did he know that Nation of Islam formed up later to kill him. The KKK had invited the Nation of Islam. The details of the meeting emerged in a never-before-published interview with Jeremiah Shabazz, a Nation of Islam minister who hosted the summit at his home. The KKK had invited the Nation of Islam for a meeting because both sides were bitterly opposed to school desegregation, which was gathering pace after the Supreme Court's decision in Brown versus Board of Education in 1954. Dr. King led the charge against the evil of segregation, but Malcolm X continued to argue for racial separation and also rejected King's doctrine of nonviolence. Meanwhile, the Klan had responded to the desegregation drive with an ever more violent campaign of killings and bombings of Black homes and churches. With tensions rising, the KKK sought an unlikely ally in the Nation of Islam, which Malcolm X had joined while serving a prison term in Massachusetts. In 1961, Malcolm X was dispatched to meet with them devils at Shabazz's home and speak to the KKK in a meeting approved by Nation of Islam leader Elijah Muhammad. The Klansmen arrived in a 10-car motorcade in a predominantly African-American part of Atlanta on January 1961, only days after John F. Kennedy took office. One KKK member reputedly tried to break the ice by berating the Jews, whom he thought to be a common enemy. After that, Malcolm X made a proposal for a complete separation of the races in which the KKK would help the Nation of Islam to acquire land for Black people to live in a separate state. The new land would also serve as a form of reparations for slavery and historic injustices against African Americans, the Nation of Islam believed. A Klansman called W.S. Fellows is said to have endorsed this idea, suggesting that the KKK and the Nation of Islam could become partners. The Klan even mentioned that the Nation members could wear purple robes in an echo of the KKK's white costumes, it was claimed. There was also talk of a plot to assassinate Dr. King, although Malcolm X and his entourage seemingly rejected this idea. Unknown to either side, the FBI also had its eyes on the meeting through a Klan informant, it is believed. The Bureau today claims credit for breaking the back of the Klan in the South, but the FBI also put Dr. King under surveillance and tried to smear his reputation. Despite the signs of agreement, the Klan and the Nation of Islam never developed an alliance, and Malcolm X later broke away from the nation, and then y'all know what happened after that. In 1964, Malcolm X made a pilgrimage to Mecca, and later that year he met King for the only time in his life in a hallway of the Capitol during the debate on the Civil Rights Act. During the final moments of his life, he urged civil rights groups to unite. In February 1965, Malcolm X was assassinated in New York while preparing to deliver a speech at Audubon Ballroom. 3 members of the Nation of Islam were convicted in the shooting before King was shot dead in Memphis 3 years later. Now, where this is important, he said he met him for the first time in a hallway of the Capitol during the debate on the Civil Rights Act. That's where Martin Luther King comes in. He too had to sit with a known racist, somebody who didn't like black people or anything like that. But he did what he thought he needed to do to try to get something done for us. A nigga can talk all the bitches and hoes and pimping women, and you can and black women can run around and talk about all the WAP in the world, which is perfectly fine. But let somebody try to branch out and get some money for you, and because you actually had the audacity to talk to somebody, when you put out a public plea for both sides to talk to you, you wanted to know what they're going to do for black people, and the Democrats didn't want to tell them nothing until after the election. You nignogs make me sick. Now, oh, here's a conversation that I'm looking at. I should have found some of this before, a story on this beforehand, but I really was just going to focus on Malcolm X. But then I was talking to some morons on Facebook, and then I remember Martin Luther King, and then that came into it. But I was about to talk about Malcolm X and whatever. I didn't, not until I was arguing with this liberal white woman that I went to high school with. You know what I'm saying? It's really a nigga, a black dude, but he's really a Karen deep down inside. Then I ended up thinking about Martin Luther King and how he had to go through it too. All I know is Martin Luther King helped too with the Civil Rights Act. That's all I'm going to say. And it's already going on 30 minutes, and that's all the video y'all need to get. Make sure to hit my Patreon. Go to MrNoGood.com to watch whatever videos. Stay tuned for a new product that I have coming out. You'll love it. And hit me up 330-536-3706. Make sure to like and subscribe down there. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, watching this on Facebook, click a like on my page and click a like on this video. Wherever you listening to this at. So that's it for this. This is your number one baby daddy, Mr. No Good and MrNoGood.com. Signing off. Baby.